Assalamu alaikum. Imam, could you explain to us why Malcolm X is an American Muslim role model and not just an African American Muslim role model?
Malcolm X is so much more than just an African American Muslim role model, because his soul, his heart, his mind was completely focused on what would benefit American people. He wasn't only concerned with African Americans, and which is commonly and understandably assumed. Malcolm X, Al-Hajj Malik al-Shabazz, he said towards the end of his life, "I'm for justice, no matter who it's for or against. I'm for truth, no matter who tells it. And whoever benefits humanity as a whole, I'm with that person." He said more or less. So that really captures the essence of who this man was. He wasn't just an African American leader or a black civil rights or human rights leader. Malcolm X, was a leader for human beings all around the world who continue to be inspired by his words, his deeds, and his message of hope for the weak and the oppressed all over the world, no matter what their ethnicity is. I think to limit him to being an African American Muslim leader is really to miss the scope and the breadth and the depth of his activities, his interests. At the end of his life, he was visiting heads of state, from all around the world. He was speaking at the Organization of African Unity, which is now the African Union. He was, planning to speak at the United Nations, which didn't happen. But he wasn't limited to the African American struggle, although that struggle was, central to what motivated him and served as the impetus, for his activities around the world. Malcolm was a Muslim first and foremost. He said in the quote I mentioned earlier that first and foremost, I'm a human being, and whatever benefits humanity as a whole is something that I stand for. So if you're human, Malcolm has something for you. And for us as Muslim Americans, we would be so much further along today if we would take the time to study not only his teachings and his philosophy, but the trajectory of his life. His parents, we need to study his parents. We need to study the movement of Marcus Garvey that produced his parents. We need to study the Nation of Islam and his mentor, Elijah Muhammad, that brought him out of a life of drugs and gangsterism, into a life of morality. And we need to study Imam Muhammad, who was another one of his mentors, and his sister, his half-sister, Haja Ella Collins, who was pivotal in him embracing a more mainstream Islam and making Hajj. And these are all different elements of his life that we need to embrace. And his message, ultimately, his message of education, his message of self-defense, his message of economic empowerment, his message of cultural relevance, his message of human rights. These are all things that we can benefit from tremendously as a Muslim American community. And even beyond that, Malcolm's cultural assimilation of the best of what America stands for serves as a model for us. Malcolm would in one sentence, in one speech, he would quote from Patrice Lumumba, right, who was a revolutionary leader in the Congo, and in the same breath, he would quote from William Shakespeare, and in the same breath, he quote from Patrick Henry. This is the eclectic nature of his intellectual heritage that he embraced. he was an internationalist, and he understood what it truly meant to be American at its core. And if we can't look at Malcolm and get at least that from him, then we're really missing a tremendous opportunity to integrate these identities. Am I a Muslim? Am I American? And they really are not. There's no dichotomy here. It's a false dialectic. And Malcolm resolved that for us over 50 years ago. All we have to do is go back and look. There's so much to discover about Malcolm. I learn new things about Malcolm X, every other month. There's lots of research that's out. There's lots of new research. His diary is out now, his personal diary, and I think we just have a lot more to discuss, and hopefully we can speak more about this next week. Jazakallah khairan. May Allah reward you for taking the time to listen to these video conversations and these webisodes. May Allah Ta'ala bless you for your time. And I hope, I'm not here to tell anybody what to believe. I really just want to give you something to think about, and hopefully it will help you come up with answers, the answers that you need, to live a more fulfilling life and answer a lot of the issues of our time and that were raised in these conversations. So thank you so much, and may Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you, and Allah's mercy and His blessings.